Okay, this is take two because take one I forgot to explain the most basic part because, well, I was thinking too fast. Okay, turn some light. I have a headlamp on. This camera's propped up in a small vise between my legs. So, this is a pick I use for the Multilock Junior. It works very well. I've gone through a lot of trial and error to figure out what the best pick is for this, and I think it works far and away better than something like a flag like this. Where is that? I missed the camera. Yeah, something like that. It works far and away better. If you're very used to where to put a flag in this, I think it works better for some applications, like setting like really high binders. But this works. It's idiot proof. I mean, I made it, so of course it is. So this just fits in the Multilock Junior like this, and you just push it up against the left side. I should explain, I tension from the right because I'm a lefty. It's also pretty easy to do this if you're righty. I just tension from the right and I just hit it against the left, and all that's doing is only setting the outers. So I have a couple of diagrams I drew last take that I'll show you. This is a top-down view of the keyway. Let me see if that works better without the light. Does not. Okay. So this is a top-down view. So the idea is that there's this critical distance between the left-hand side right here and the center pin, just the edge of the center pin. And you want this sort of distance where it just sort of touches the center pin. It doesn't lift it, it just lifts the outer pin. And the idea is that the width of this will be exactly that distance. So let's get on to the profile of this. So as you can see, let's refer to the top. This is where this is the part that does not interact with the pins. It pivots off this. You want that to be slightly wider, slightly up, slightly offset from the sort of central axis right here. And that's so that you sort of, these are terrible lines. Let me erase this real quick and just draw it again. You'll have this center axis, the rotational axis, and it sort of goes across here. And the idea is that you have a shorter distance from here to here than you have from here to here, but still, like, it's non-zero, and it's significant, and that lets you sort of put less torque on it to get you can get more sensitive feel, I think, that way. Also, I think it gets stuck less. So there's no reason why this couldn't be sort of a curved square. I wouldn't put sharp corners on this just because it might get caught up. The reason why mine isn't is because this used to be something else. It used to be for NASA 600. Don't let me get into why I made this, but it was a dumb idea. But I had this lying around, and this was exactly the right size. So onto the part that actually interacts with the pins. You could theoretically make this out of square, but I think it gets stuck a lot and wouldn't really lift under anything. What I did was I made it sort of triangular, rounded off that tip right there, and put a bevel. Put a bevel on each of these edges so that it can really get under there. I also sort of got a little bit fancy. If you look at it straight on like this, that sort of profile, it's bent a little bit right at the tip where it really interacts with the pins. That way, it's not as extreme as this. It's like, 10 degrees maybe. Something like that's the same angle. Okay, it's very slight, but it can get around the warding. In this specific Mortise MTL Junior is not smooth in there. It's got little bumps, and this gets around it pretty well. Gets under everything. You can even use it for really, really hard center pins. Works for everything. Just gotta move it over a bit. As for the shaft width, you probably want it in between 1/8 and 3/16. I'd say this is 5/32, maybe 3/16, something like that. You want it thin so it can rotate well and doesn't get caught up or rubbing on anything. But you want it thick enough so it can withstand that twisting stress. Because this is thin, this is 20 thousandths feeler gauge, so it'll want to twist. But yeah, the handle is just heat shrink tubing. I say you can go on Amazon, pay $15 for a box of like 3,000, 2,000, like of different sizes of these things. Do it, keep it around. It'll last you years, and it's so useful. But yeah, I think that's everything. It works amazingly. I really, really recommend making one.